12 साल बाद वापस आ रहे हैं।
Well, a glorious homecoming for the T20 Titans. Prime Minister Modi hosted a breakfast for the men in blue at his residence this morning after ending India's 13-year World Cup drought in Barbados. Rohit Sharma's team on its way to Mumbai as we speak for a victory parade at the city's famed Marine Drive, followed by a grand ceremony at the Wankhede Stadium. We will get you all the action live right here on CNBC TV 18. But first, the key headlines this evening. The Sensex and the Nifty hit a record high again, but the gains are limited. IT and bank stocks perk up, mid-caps outperform.
Well, let's keep the base rate 15. In 5 years flat, 2029, you'll be 1,60,000.
Veteran investor Raamdeo Agrawal expects the Sensex to double from current levels within 5 years, says this could be a record year for the IPO market. That's an exclusive.
I don't think it's AI so much as you know that in general over the last couple of years there has been a reduction in discretionary spending.
The reduction in IT headcount is due to a slowdown in discretionary spending and not linked to artificial intelligence, as Infosys chairman Nandan Nilekani believes AI can be transformational for India's digital public infrastructure like Aadhaar and UPI. That's an exclusive. GST relief for the insurance industry. Sources say over 100 notices worth 20,000 crore rupees now stand defunct after a clarification by the GST Council. Companies that have already paid the tax demand will get a refund in the form of input tax credits. That's an exclusive. At least 3 more bridge collapse incidents in rain-affected Bihar in the last 24 hours. No casualties reported. The state has seen at least a dozen bridge collapses in the past 17 days. A PIL in the Supreme Court seeks directions to the state government to conduct advanced structural audits of all existing bridges. Air pollution is responsible for 7% of deaths in 10 Indian cities. According to a Lancet study, more than 33,000 deaths could be attributed every year on average, even in cities considered to have clear air. The first of its kind multi-city report shows the problem is not limited to mega cities like Delhi. The UK heads to the polls. Voting is underway in 650 constituencies across England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. Pre-poll surveys have predicted a resounding victory for the Labour Party and the return to power after 14 years. Meta's Twitter rival Threads hits 175 million active users ahead of its one-year anniversary, says Mark Zuckerberg. The social network is growing, but not as fast as it did initially. Well, let's start with the day's market action. The Sensex and the Nifty have hit a record high again, but the gains have been limited. The Sensex gained about 60 points, closing above the 80,000 mark. The Nifty gained just 15 points. Bank stocks did manage to claw back in late trade today. The Nifty flat, the Sensex closing 62 points higher. The Nifty Bank also closing in positive territory, 325 points higher. That was the story for the mid-caps, and the mid-cap outperformance continues today. Now, exactly 1 month ago today, stocks plunged in trade as the election verdict became clear. But it has been a spectacular turnaround, with markets now sitting at record highs. Hormuz joins us with more on the roller coaster journey over the last 30 days. Hormuz.
Well, today is exactly a month to the 4th of June, the day the Lok Sabha election results were declared. And who would have thought that from almost slipping below 21,000 that day, the Nifty would be making record highs every single day a month later. Now, let's take a look at this in a more granular context in percentage terms. Now, the Nifty fell 6% on the 4th of June. It's up 11% in that 1 month since then. And this I'm talking about closing levels from the 4th of June to closing levels on Wednesday, that is the 3rd of July. The Nifty Bank is up 13% during that period. Now, remember, the broader markets, the mid-cap and the small-cap indices had a bigger fall that day, but the bigger fall, the bigger has been the rebound as well. The mid-cap index is up 14.5%, the small-cap index up 19%, even better from the closing of the 4th of June. Now, which are the Nifty stocks that did well? Shriram Finance, the latest Nifty entrant, is the top performer here. Wipro comes second, and the recovery in IT stocks is evident as 5 out of the top 10 Nifty gainers in the last month are IT stocks. But out of the 49 of the Nifty 50 stocks did well, the one stock that had negative returns was India's largest passenger car maker, Maruti Suzuki, and that was the one that had 0.4% a negative return, but the losses aren't significant. HUL, Britannia, Bajaj Auto are some of the other underperformers, and by that I mean there are not significant gains, the 20-30% kinds, and hence the underperformance. The mid-cap index now, 95 out of the 100 stocks positive returns in the last 1 month, and unsurprisingly, Mazagon Dock leads the pack here, 75% here. Fact continuing with the broader fertilizer theme doing well, Dixon making new record highs as well. So all of these stocks did well. What are some of the stocks in the broader markets that did not do well in today over that last 1 month? And that is BSE. But remember, BSE has also had a stellar run in the last few months, and so it's seeing a bit of sideways movement. HPCL as well. Now, if you come out the small caps, if small caps was an exam, a 99 out of 100 score would have made anyone proud. And here, 99 stocks out of 100 have seen positive returns in the last 1 month. Amara Raja being the topper here. No surprises again because of the kind of moves the battery stocks have seen. Titagarh, Chambal, HFCL, all of them have seen good moves. But some of the underperformers, the only one stock with negative returns on the small cap index is Ujjivan Small Finance Bank, and some of the other underperformers including IRB, Blue Star and some PSU banks. But sticking to PSUs, I wanted to highlight the PSE index that made a high of 11,353 on the 3rd of June. It has still not managed to get to those levels, and the stocks that come up on your screen now, those are the top 5 performers on the PSE index over the last 1 month, and barring HAL and Oil India, the other 3, BHEL, PFC, REC, which fell 25% that day, have still not managed to recover some losses. All in all, it's been a stellar recovery for the market in the last 1 month. While investors wait for the rain clouds in the city, they would seriously hope that their portfolio continues to see some sunshine.
Well, plenty of sunshine over the last 30 days after what transpired on the 4th of June. Hormuz, many thanks for joining us. And staying with the markets, veteran investor Raamdeo Agrawal expects the Sensex to double from the current levels over the next 5 years. Also believes this will be a record year for the IPO market. Take a look.
Year after year, for 44 years, I have seen this market growing at, I didn't know that it is 16%. I thought it is 15%. This is a 15% country. India is a 15% country. So I have seen, I mean, like every 5 years it doubles, like from 40,000 to 80,000 it has become in 5 years, exact. So it's about 15%, and longer term is also 15, 16%. So there is no reason to believe that going forward it will be anything significantly different. It might become 14, it might become 16. So if you go at 15, I mean, let's keep the base rate 15. In 5 years flat, 2029, you will be 1,60,000. We are seeing a lot of supplies coming in from existing promoters and FIs. FIs have been supplying for last 1.5, 2 years. Now they also seem to be tired. Now it is all for the new companies which are not listed. So 100% owned unlisted company, they are coming with the IPO. Almost every day there is 1 or 2 IPOs. I think it will be a record year of maybe 200 IPOs or at least 160, 170 IPOs. Almost every other day you will close 1 IPO. And there is no season in the sense that entire 365 days it is open.
Well, a record year for IPOs. That's Raamdeo Agrawal. From one newsmaker to another, Infosys chairman Nandan Nilekani says the reduction in IT headcount that we're currently seeing is due to a slowdown in discretionary spending and not on account of artificial intelligence. Speaking with Lata, Nilekani acknowledged the risks of AI reducing jobs, but also added that AI can be transformational for India's digital public infrastructure like Aadhaar and UPI. Take a look.
Well, I think there are many fears about AI, founded or unfounded. One is, of course, that AI will hugely automate and reduce jobs. Now, that's a fear we should take into account, because anytime a new technology comes, some jobs will go, but new jobs will come. And there will be a period when maybe the job loss will be more than the job gain. But fundamentally, I think in India, we have to think of it differently. If we can use AI to amplify services to people, if people can get better education, better healthcare, better farming knowledge, then actually it has a very positive impact. So if farmers know more about how to farm, they'll do a better job and so on. So I think if we think of AI as amplifying human potential, and applied that way, I don't think we should be that worried.
Coverage of IT companies. If you just took the top 5 companies in the Nifty, the aggregate numbers they hired was negative 62,000. Until now, we have seen slower growth, but it was always growth. A reduction in the workforce of the top 5 by 62,000 is a bit of a scare.
Yeah, but I think we have to also look at what are the factors. I don't think it's AI so much as you know that in general over the last couple of years there has been a reduction in discretionary spending of client companies.
Is that not related to AI?
No. I don't think so at all.
Well, that's Nandan Nilekani. 2 Adani Group companies are gearing up to raise around $2.5 billion via the QIP route. As per a report by Money Control, Adani Enterprises will look to raise around $1.5 billion, while Adani Energy will look to raise around $750 million. The conglomerate has been in touch with investors, and the 2 QIPs could be launched after the budget, which is expected to be tabled later this month, perhaps towards the end of this month. And speaking of fundraising, houseware manufacturer Cello World launched a qualified institutional placement. Sources have told CNBC TV 18 the company is looking to raise close to 730 crores by offloading around 86 lakh shares. The indicative price of 852 rupees per share is at an 11% discount to yesterday's closing price. Cello World shares hit an all-time high in trade today. Well, here's a CNBC TV 18 exclusive. GST relief for the insurance industry. Sources say that over 100 notices worth 20,000 crore rupees are now defunct. This after a clarification by the GST Council. Timsy is standing by with the details. Timsy, explain this to us, and clearly this comes as big relief for the insurance sector.
Well, that's right. What we are given to understand from sources is that the insurance sector is set to get GST relief. Over 100 DGGI notices worth 20,000 crore rupees will now become defunct after the recent GST Council changes that have been now notified by the government. Companies will also get the demands that they have already paid against these notices as ITC refund in their ledger. Just to remind our viewers that 53rd GST Council has notified clarifications with respect to co-insurance, reinsurance, treatment of wreck and salvage, etc. in terms of supply. And remember, insurance companies were facing the heat of these DGGI notices. Since last 2 years, the Directorate General of GST Intelligence was claiming dues since July 2017 onwards. And now all these notices are set to get suo motu defunct since the clarification says that these will not be considered as supply. Thus, no GST is submitted that is being levied on these companies.
All right, Timsy, many thanks. The big story that we're tracking today, the T20 World Cup winning team led by Captain Rohit Sharma will take part in an open bus victory parade at Mumbai's Marine Drive. The 2-kilometer journey will start at Nariman Point and end at the iconic Wankhede Stadium. Large crowds gathering along the route to catch a glimpse of the men in blue. Early in the day, the team, along with the support staff, met Prime Minister Modi at his official residence in Delhi. Remember, their win over South Africa in a nail-biting finale ended India's 13-year World Cup drought. They are, as we speak, flying into Mumbai. Santya standing by at the Mumbai airport. Santya, almost close to touchdown.
So let me first show you around what's happening. Let me start with the crowd. Here is the crowd. एक चीज जो आप लोग कहना चाहेंगे अभी इंडियन टीम का स्वागत करने के लिए, कोई भी एक चीज जी
स्वागत करने के लिए आए हम लोग।
ठीक है, कहाँ से आए हैं आप?
मुंबई से।
ठीक है, कहाँ से? झारखंड से आए हैं आप? आगे आए जी, बताएं।
मैडम, मैं तो बहुत खुश हूँ इंडिया जीत के, लेकिन मैं उसकी खास देखने के लिए मैं झारखंड से आया हूँ।
अरे बाप रे,
उधर कह के नहीं मिले मुलाकात होगी ना, इसके लिए झारखंड विराट कोहली का बहुत बड़ा फैन हूँ मैं, और रोहित शर्मा का, इसके लिए मैं झारखंड से आया हूँ देखने के लिए।
अच्छा, आप लोग ये बताएं, आप लोग कहाँ से आए हैं? और
झारखंड से।
अच्छा,
हम लोग ड्राइवर वाला पर का
झारखंड से हम लोग हैं, वो लोग देखने के लिए आए इंडिया टीम वाले को।
काम धंधा बंद कर
दीजिए, सब बंद है।
Correct. Shri, you can also see the crowd on that side chanting. They are chanting Bharat Mata ki Jai. They are chanting Vande Mataram. They are here to welcome the team. India की टीम का स्वागत करने के लिए क्या बोलेंगे उनको?
हम लोग के लिए तो अच्छा बेस्ट है।
हाँ।
इसके लिए हम लोग यहाँ पे खड़े हैं।
ठीक है, कितने बजे से आए हैं आप?
हम कम से कम 1.5 घंटा हम लोग यहाँ पे खड़े हैं।
खड़े हैं, 1.5 घंटे से वेट कर रहे हैं।
हाँ।
I can also see a very little and adorable fan here. Hi, what's your name?
Adatani.
Sorry? Virat Sahani. Aviraj. Hi Aviraj, you like Virat Kohli?
Yeah.
Okay. You like cricket?
I think.
Little. Okay, so I can see that you and your family are here. When did you come?
We came here at 3:30. Actually, I came here to pick my mom and the Indian team was there. So
आप दिल्ली से आई हैं मैम?
But ये excited थे कि देखना है.
अच्छा, तो आप देख के अब घर जाएंगे. That's adorable. You are a fan, I'm assuming, of course.
yeah, good.
So, you know the match. What was the favorite moment? As far as you are concerned, what was your favorite moment of the match?
Surya Kumar's catch, of course. Like Virat Kohli wasn't performing throughout the series, but we all trusted that he'll perform. He's a great performer. And at the end of the day, when we needed him to fire, he fired. And Surya Kumar Yadav got a catch. It couldn't get better than that.
Shireen, as you can see, of course, as I said, our adorable fan here. And other than that, you can see the crowds here. People have come here. Some of them, as we heard, have come from Jharkhand. Please, ma'am, please come forward. आप हाँ बिल्कुल आप कहाँ से आए हैं सर?
यूपी प्रयागराज।
यूपी से आए हैं? आप बॉम्बे से हैं कि
मुंबई में रहते हो अभी?
अच्छा। कितने घंटे से खड़े हैं यहाँ पे?
हम यहाँ 2 घंटे से खड़े, 2 बजे से।
Who is your favorite player?
I mean, Sachin Tendulkar, but at this point, of course, Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, who have both retired, so that's sad.
Okay, so it's a bittersweet moment.
Bittersweet, but so proud for India, definitely, and so happy and so thrilled to be here, honestly.
Absolutely, we all are, and as you heard, Shireen, and as you can see, this absolutely happy and cheerful crowd here waiting for our men in blue. Shireen.
Absolutely, Santyagora. I can hear the cheering behind you, and it must be electrifying to actually be able to capture the moment. And this is a historic moment. And of course, people coming in from all parts of the country to cheer Team India. And you can catch the action live on CNBC TV 18. Santya, we'll keep coming back to you. We are going to head into a break. But up next, the UK heads to the polls, voting underway in 650 constituencies across England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Will it be the end of Rishi Sunak? That and more when we return. Well, at least 3 more bridges have collapsed in Bihar in the last 24 hours. No casualties have been reported. The state has seen at least a dozen bridge collapses in the past 17 days. A PIL in the Supreme Court has sought directions from the state government to conduct advanced structural audit of all existing bridges. Take a look.
Another day, another bridge collapse. This is the story of Bihar. 10 bridges have collapsed in the last 15 days amid heavy rainfall. The latest incident took place in Saran, where a 15-year-old bridge collapsed this morning. A petition has been filed in the Supreme Court seeking immediate intervention and directing the Bihar government to conduct a structural audit of all existing and under construction bridges in the state. The petitioner warned that such incidents might also happen in the future due to the negligence of the government and the corrupt nexus of the contractors and concerned agencies. The other 9 bridge collapses have taken place in Siwan, Madhubani, Araria, East Champaran and Kishanganj districts in the past 15 days. According to the petition, these collapses raise significant concerns about the safety of bridge infrastructure, especially considering that Bihar is the most flood-prone state in India. The petitioner has sought real-time monitoring of the bridges according to the parameters of the Union Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. Now, what has the Bihar government done so far? Chief Minister Nitish Kumar has instructed the Road Construction and Rural Works departments to survey all old bridges in the state and identify those in need of urgent repair.
Well, that is the latest there from Bihar, the latest incident of a bridge collapsing, and we've seen, as we pointed out, more than a dozen in the last 15 days. Meta's Twitter rival Threads has hit 175 million active users ahead of its one-year anniversary. The social network is growing, however, not growing as fast as it did initially. Rachna joins us now with the details. Rachna, what does this mean for Threads?
Well, yeah, Shireen, it was all announced with a Spider-Man meme by Zuckerberg on Twitter, now X, in his humorous way to talk about the launch of Threads, a microblogging platform much similar to Twitter, but with the color scheme and UI of Instagram. And now, as it completes a year, it has hit a milestone of 175 million users. But let's trace it back a bit. It was 6th of July 2023, and within a week, it had amassed 100 million users. But it was a rather inorganic way of doing it because it had kept mandatory integration with Instagram. And so it was quickly followed by a drop. And now, after a year, it has managed to be at 175 million daily active users. Despite growing its user base, Threads has struggled to maintain engagement. Data from Sensor Tower revealed that last month, users logged in at an average of 3 sessions and 7 minutes per day on the app, representing a decline of 79% in number of sessions and 65% in number of minutes compared to July of the previous year. And so even now, discussions are on at Meta about whether to continue developing Threads as a standalone app or to integrate its engagement back to Instagram like they did in its first week. Whereas if we were to compare it to Twitter, that despite its ups and downs has remained strong. Currently, Twitter has daily active users in the range of about 270 million users. Elon Musk took over the platform almost 2 years ago when it had about 250 million users. And eventually, because of features changes, verification changes, all the subscription changes that Musk brought about, X too went through a dip in its engagement and saw a dip of 225 million daily active users, falling from 250. This was confirmed by the CEO Linda Yaccarino. In the same space, if we look at other platforms like Mastodon and Blue Sky, they aren't doing anywhere even in the range of Threads and X. And the competition in the space is only getting intense. In fact, just yesterday we reported on Coup shutting down, which was an Indian alternative to Twitter. However, since Threads is a Meta product with Instagram's base to fall back on, advertiser interest in Threads still remains strong. And so to build it further in terms of user interest and revenue, Adam Morris had indicated that news and ads may soon make their way to Threads. Back to you.
All right, Rachna, appreciate you joining us. So Threads are marking its first anniversary, but the growth nowhere the kind that we saw at the start. The top global story, polling stations in the UK have seen hordes of people waiting to vote for the 650 constituencies spread across England, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland. Now, this snap election is being dominated by concerns over economic stagnation, a crumbling healthcare system and immigration. Pre-poll surveys predict a landslide victory for the Labour Party. Prime Minister Sunak arriving at the polling booth with his wife Akshata Murthy to cast his vote. Labour Party leader Keir Starmer eyes the top job as he walks in with his wife Victoria to cast his vote. 61-year-old Starmer has urged the British to come out and vote for change. Well, Sanjay Suri joins us now live from London. Sanjay, winds of change in the air, are most predicting a landslide for Labour.
Well, the change is not just in the air, it's a storm that seems to be on its way, and that is certain to sweep the Conservatives out. I know this sounds dramatic, but the results that we are looking at are likely to be just as dramatic. And none other than Rishi Sunak can see it coming. He has said that, yes, he is the underdog, but that this underdog will fight to the very end. He sent out a series of desperate messages overnight, just before the polls opened, warning against a socialist supermajority if Keir Starmer gets a big victory and gets a big majority. So Rishi Sunak can see it coming. Everyone can see it coming. The question now is, how bad is this going to be? The poll group Savannah has said that there is a question even about Rishi Sunak's own constituency, Richmond North. They say that this constituency is too close to call. It is likely that Rishi Sunak will retain his own seat. But then, if he were to lose not just as PM but as MP, that really would be a loss.
Well, we will have to wait not for too long to get the results in from the UK, but all polls, as Sanjay was saying, predict a landslide victory For Labour, it will be a return to 10 Downing after 14 years for the Labour Party and the end of the road as far as the Conservatives are concerned. And interesting to see whether Rishi Sunak will hold his constituency or not. Well, with that, it is time for us to wrap up this edition of Business 360. But before we go, here's a quick note, a daily wrap of the top headlines will hit your inbox every day before we call it a night. CNBC TV 18's daily newsletter on LinkedIn features the top 10 stories on markets, corporate updates, economic insights and financial highlights. Subscribe now. Get the CNBC TV 18 Edge. The news will continue after this short break.